This is the final boarding call for the podcast Layovers and Lessons. Stay tuned. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Layovers and Lessons. This is the first episode for this podcast, and I'm so glad all of you have subscribed and joined to listen. So let's get right into it. On the podcast, we will be speaking about the places that make us feel alive, the ones that scare us a little, and we're going to be getting into some deep personal experiences and what I think travel does for us and how it can change our views on certain things and change us as humans. So get comfortable, grab your coffee, and prepare for conversations that go beyond the guidebook. Before we get into the deep questions, guys, I'd like to share a few personal things about myself just so you guys can get to know me and feel comfortable with me. My name is Gemma Blumenthal, as I've already stated. I am 19 years old. My birthday is coming up soon, actually. It is November 22nd, so pretty excited for that. Hope my friends have planned some fun stuff. I have 2 siblings, and I'm originally from South Africa, but now I live here because I go to college here. So that's all pretty fun. But let's get onto the deep questions that I asked a bunch of you to go into my Instagram and ask questions you want to know and want my opinion on. So let's get started. Question 1. What is one travel experience that has shaped the person you are today? That's a good question. The first one that comes to mind is I took my gap year in 2024 and I went to Australia by myself. So I think that was a huge step for me, first time not going on holiday with my family and not having my family around me. So being alone and doing things by myself, and the independency really made me sort of confident in myself and brave to do things alone and not scared as much. So I would probably say that experience, because it taught me so much about myself that I didn't know, and it taught me that I'm actually capable of doing things I never thought I would be. And yeah. Question 2. Did traveling ever expose a hidden strength or fear you didn't know you had? I'm gonna start with the fear because that's pretty easy for me to think of. Fear of mine that I didn't know I had was honestly being alone and being by myself. I'm such a family person. I love being around my family and just being around people in general. So I think being by myself really gave me that heightened fear of oh my god, I'm so alone and I'm sad all the time, So that was a fear of mine that I didn't know I had, but we're working on it and I'm getting better at being by myself, which is a good thing. A hidden strength of mine would probably be socializing. I kind of grew up in a bubble back home in South Africa, so I knew everyone already, but going on my gap year and coming to college, you're kind of forced to make new friends that you've never seen before and adapt to certain people's cultures and just everything. So I would say I'm a pretty good socializer and I love getting to know new people and just learning new things and people teaching me things. And I would say I'm a pretty friendly person, so I've been told. So yeah, I think I answered that pretty well. What does home mean to you now? Is it a place, a feeling, or the people you meet along the way? That is a deep question. Home to me, since I have many homes, I would say it's the people and a feeling. I think people sometimes get confused that home is a place, but it's really not. Home is not just 4 walls and a roof. It's the people that are in that house with you. It's the feeling and the emotion you experience with them. It's all about making memories with other people and just they create a sense of belonging. And I feel when I'm homesick, I don't necessarily crave like being back in my house in my own bed. I crave the people that are there with me. So I hope that answers your question. What's a moment that made you cry from joy or even exhaustion while traveling? This is a pretty funny moment. Again, the same trip, I was in Australia, and like I said, I'm a very family person and I get homesick pretty easily. So I was staying with my cousins, and it was a week before I was leaving Australia to go back home to South Africa. And I called my dad. I was very upset, and I just had such mixed emotions because I would call my parents every day and say, oh, I miss you, I can't wait to come home, like counting down the days to come home, like yay, like so excited. And then that week before I was leaving, I was just in a horrible mood. Like I did not want to go home. All I wanted to do was stay in Australia. And I called my dad, and he's like, what's wrong? You sound very sad. And I just burst out crying. I was like, I don't want to leave here. I love it here. I've made so many new friends and experiences. Like, I don't want to leave. And then my auntie, she came running up the stairs. She's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? All I hear is crying. Like, did I do something? Did any of us, like, offend you? I was like, I don't want to leave. Like, I made the most amazing, like, connections with people and the most amazing memories. And like, I'll always hold a special place for Australia, and I just loved. That was one of the best times in my life I've ever had. And then when I actually did leave, I literally was crying my eyes out the whole way to the airport. And then I got on the plane, and the lady sitting in front of me, she like turned back and she was like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm fine. I'm just really upset. And yeah, but I think, you know, sometimes what I've learned is that goodbyes are really hard when we've had a meaningful experience. And that's something that I'll always carry with me, because some goodbyes aren't hard, and it's like, but we still have a good experience. But like, this trip for me was so impactful, and it taught me so much about myself. And honestly, I love Australia. So yeah, it was happy cries and sad cries. Question 5. Which trip taught you more about yourself than any classroom ever could? This is a really good question, because when I was in high school, my first year of high school is grade 8. My dad took me and my sister out of school, and we actually traveled on a boat for a year around the world. We did 6 months Mediterranean and 6 months Caribbean, and I didn't do school during that year. And I think just seeing the world at such a young age, like 12, I would say it's pretty young, it was just such an amazing thing to see, and like so many different cultures, connecting with my family on such a personal level. Like, we're on a boat. You can't just leave, you know? You're forced to kind of make peace, you know, like share all these memories and like funny moments with them. And I just think like it changed me so much, and I saw the world so clearly for the first time. Like, before then I had traveled, but like this for like a year non-stop was just like, wow, there's so much out there. There is so many things to do, and it's like the world is beautiful. Like the mountains, the ocean, like Mother Nature is incredible, and I just think everyone should go and see the world while they can. Like, we're not getting any younger, so I say this as I'm 19, but I just think the world's beautiful, and it just taught me so much. Like, if I could, I would go back to it today. I would go back to that time. It was just the most amazing and incredible thing I've ever done, and I'm so grateful that my parents were able to do that for me. And it was just so memorable. What place or experience has left the biggest mark on your heart? That is a good question, because I feel like as a person, I love very loudly, and I just feel like I open my heart to everyone. which is a good and bad thing, but there's two places that I can think of, and I can't really choose between them, so I'm just going to tell you both. But the first one would probably be back to Australia. I had gone there, and I'm like 1 month in, and I met this really cute guy, and we kind of like hit it off, yeah. And we kind of hit it off, and you know, occasional flirts. He was also best friends with my cousin, so it was pretty easy to see him, and like we were hanging out often. And I think that's the first time I've ever experienced love. So leaving him was really hard for me because I was so in love with him. Anyway, the second one I can think of is coming to college. Like, it was such a big thing for me, like leaving behind my home, my family, my friends, my comfortable lifestyle, and coming here to America and having no one. I don't know a single person. I don't know how anything works. And I think like leaving my family behind was such a hard thing for me. I love being around people I love, and it just makes me feel so calm and safe and so comfortable. Like, it's just like such a nice feeling, and like as soon as I came here, it's like that feeling's been ripped away, and now it's like cold and I don't want to be here. So that left a pretty big mark on my heart because, you know, like it pulls the heartstrings a lot. But I love my family and I speak to them every day, but you know, it's not the same as seeing them in person. So that's probably the two biggest things that have left a mark on my heart. How has travel taught you to be grateful in life? Honestly, I have a lot to be grateful for in my life when it comes to travel, and I'm so grateful for all the places I've visited, and I'm grateful for my parents, like taking me on all these trips and journeys and teaching me that there's more to life out there, and the world is a beautiful place that needs to be experienced. So I'm very grateful for that. And like my dad always says, it could be worse. It could be a lot fucking worse. So I think that's something each one of us should try and remember when we're feeling bad or like something bad has happened. I think we should always try and remember that. Like, I was on the phone with my dad the other day and I was saying how upset I was because I was struggling with being away from home and reconnecting back for the semester. And he was like, it could be worse. And it really could be worse. Like, we don't know what certain people are going through. And I have so much gratitude in my life. And when I go to these certain countries, like third world countries, and countries that are so poor and in such poverty, I feel so grateful because of my life. Like, I'm grateful that I have running water. I'm grateful that I have a bed to sleep on at night. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for everything. And I think people should be more appreciative and grateful in their lives. And sometimes it's hard to be grateful when you're in a dark place, but it could always be worse. Anyways, what does travel teach us about slowing down and being present? So I really like that question. I think travel teaches us to actually slow down and take in the moments, literally second by second, minute by minute. When you're sitting on a beach looking at these beautiful mountains, it's like you're in awe. You're actually there staring at it yourself in person. And I just feel like sometimes people are too obsessed with posting on their Instagram stories or trying to get the perfect picture, and that's fine. But we also need to remember to put the phone down, put all of our worries away, and just be present. Laugh with your family, play board games, like just be present in the moment. We can't be worrying about the past. We can't be worrying about things we can't control even, because it's just going to drive us crazy. And I really think it teaches us to love. It teaches us to connect to other people, to the world. and I find that's something very inspiring and that people should take from this podcast. And finally, for my last question, I decided to add something fun. Please make sure to answer this as well. You can go to my website and share your answer with me. But window or aisle seat? I know people are very, very particular about what seat they choose. Mine, I have to go window. It is logically the best seat on the plane. I feel like you got enough armrest space, and window, you can lean your head on it. Whoever chooses middle, I don't know how. You're in between two people. You don't have any armrests. Like, what? You don't have anywhere to put your head. Aisle, I do see how people would choose an aisle just because of the easy access to the bathroom. But like, if you're sitting on the aisle and someone at the window needs to go to the bathroom, you gotta get up. Like, I just feel like the window is easy. You can sit, make yourself comfortable, like hibernate in your little corner. I love it. But anyways, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Layovers and Lessons. More to come, so please stay tuned and subscribe. If you guys have any questions about what I answered or you want to know more about me, please don't hesitate to ask. Contact me. Please don't forget to join us for next episode, and I hope you all have a great week. See you soon.